Hi everyone, your amazing leader Angie asked if I would do a quick video on Melfish, my why, how to brand yourself, how to be unique, be you. Well, as you can see, I live on a ranch, and I was not born a rancher, I was not born a country girl. This stuff is new to me. I went to college to be a teacher and ended up being a speech therapist. So you can imagine that the last 2 years of my life as a work-at-home mom have been crazy. I feel like I've had to reinvent the wheel on a few things because when I chose to leave my job, I chose because I wanted to stay home. I wanted to watch my kids grow up. I wanted to help my husband with the ranch. But at the same time, I was working full-time, and I had such easy access to friends, coworkers, anything like that. When it came to Scentsy, I could just drop off a basket of scents in the teacher's lounge, or I could put a happy birthday scent circle in somebody's mailbox, you know. So there have been some challenges since becoming a work-at-home mom. And those are challenges that I'm willing to take on every day, because every day that I don't have to go to work is a blessing. I have had the time of my life these last 2 years learning more about my kids. I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. Learning more about my friends. Being able to work my Scentsy business like a business. I just celebrated 7 years with Scentsy this last December. And it's been, there's been ups and downs and arounds and everything like that, but you just have to face your fears, go for it, do what your gut tells you to do. I'm not telling you to just, when you wake up tomorrow morning, walk into work and quit your job. If you're not happy with it, find something. Make your passion your paycheck. And for so many of you, I honestly believe that Scentsy is your passion. You just haven't had that aha moment yet. I loved working with kids. I still love working with kids. I even get teary when I think about how much I miss working with so many of those students. But at the same time, I can always go back to work when I'm ready. But for the time being, Scentsy is where I want to be. I have made my passion my paycheck. When it comes to cows, I have no clue about. When it comes to horses, I'm still learning. Chickens, I am a hobby farmer, I tell you what. I took a couple quick little videos too. Hopefully I can make like a video collage for you. And my goats, people are so interested in my goats. And when you're able to post those things on your social media pages, Facebook for instance, you know, people are going to comment. People are going to question. They're going to be like, you have a goat or you have goats? Like, I remember talking to my best friend on the phone. She lives in Seattle, Washington now. And I said, I gotta go. My goats are out. And she is just laughing because she's like, these are things that I never, ever thought I'd hear come out of your mouth in like a million years because of the way that I grew up. Because I grew up in a city, basically, not the way I grew up. But Carlos has changed my life. I have Jax, Dolly, and Chibs as well, but Carlos has literally changed my life with my anxiety. When you're working with goats, you have to chill out. And sometimes I'd go outside if I was having a moment, you know. When you have kids, when you have your business, sometimes days just don't go right. You got to go outside and you have to breathe, you have to calm down, you have to relax, you have to do those sorts of things. People now associate me with Scentsy, chickens, and goats. I tried to shed a positive light on all three of those, and apparently it's working because when people think of Melfish, people think of goats. People will tag me, customers, friends, other Scentsy consultants will tag me in posts that have to do with goats or chickens or occasionally a Volkswagen Bug. These are all things that make me happy. Showing somebody your happiness is how people want to see you. You know, you can post constantly on Facebook that you're a Scentsy consultant. I'm sure most people know that by now. Let them get to know you. Be goofy. Do live videos. Go outside. Like, whatever your passion is, you got to figure that stuff out. You got to pinpoint your passion. That's called alliteration. Pinpoint your passion and make it your paycheck. Carlos will assist me in my Scentsy videos, or he will, sometimes I'll just say Carlos approves, of this scent or anything like that. Be happy. Show your happy side. People are going to start following you on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter because of your personality, and the sales will follow. The more people you have following you, and algorithms and legit like interaction, that's the word I was looking for, the more you're going to be in their news feed, the more that they interact with you, the more they're going to see your actual Scentsy stuff. They may not need Scentsy right now, but at least they're seeing it. And in the back of their mind, that's it. You are their Scentsy person. They don't know that yet. You don't know that yet. But because you had some connection, or you chose to post something happy or funny or something about you, your personality, you made that connection, and Scentsy will follow. Or maybe you met through Scentsy and now you just figured out that you have another goat friend. I just figured that out the other day. I have a Scentsy friend that had goats when she was younger, and I was like, did we just become best friends? Because that's amazing. You can find people that share your loves, share your passions, share the same little quirks that you do. So I appreciate that Melfish was born. I definitely got that title, that nickname from a few of my Scentsy girlfriends. And the funny thing is, the mailman came to my door the other day because he had a crap ton of boxes. And there was an envelope, and he says, this one's labeled to Melfish, so that must be you. And I said, oh, I can only guess that's from somebody like through Scentsy, because Scentsy calls me Melfish. And I love it. I absolutely love it. There is no shame in my Melfish game. And it's totally okay to be yourself. That's the awesome thing about Scentsy. Like, you don't have to fit in this cookie cutter mold that, like you went to college, you have a business degree, and you can do this, this, and this. You can be whoever you want to be, And that's the most amazing thing that has brought Scentsy into my life, the people that have come into my life. I could ramble on for hours and hours and hours. But really, really quickly, before I say toodaloo, my Scentsy story started 2 months, actually not 2 months after I got married. Okay. Yeah, 2 months after I got married. I wasn't even with Scentsy, but my Scentsy story started then. I went in to have my gallbladder taken out. I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version too. I went in to get my gallbladder taken out. My husband, who I'd only been married to for a month, he's a fishing guide in the summers. He was gone. And easy procedure. All right, I wake up 6 days later with him standing over me saying, I did not tell them they could do this. And I'm kind of freaking out, like, what just happened here? Why are you here? I'm wiggling my fingers, I'm wiggling my toes, everything's there. The doctor comes in and says there was some issues, and I'm like, what? Like, what day is it? I was having a freak out. And long story short, he accidentally poked my appendix. My appendix burst. He quickly tried to clean it up with a sponge, sewed me up, forgot the sponge in there, unsewed me. Because there was an infection, he ended up having to take out an ovary and a fallopian tube because they were blacker than black. Blackety black was the inside of my poor belly. And then he says, this is going to be a character building experience for you. So, newlywed, now I have half the gear that I need to have kids. He also says if you want to have kids, you need to start trying soon because there's like a slim to none chance now. So this person just played God on me, and he was so arrogant about it that I was deeply depressed. I was out of work. I was a speech therapist working hourly. And for 2 months I was out of work, and the special ed teacher calls me one day and she says, you know, it's time to get out of your house. You should come to this party with me. I mean, we talked about it. Yeah, there was wine, so I'll go. All right. So guess what it was? It was a Scentsy party. Chase and I still didn't have a pot to piss in, man. Excuse my language, but we were broke as a joke. And yet, I remember, like, we were house poor. I wanted our house to smell good, and I wasn't a candle freak, but I ordered some Scentsy. I walked away from this party going, like, this lady just made like $40 commission off of me, so how about that? Sat down with my husband. We're talking about how I can't pay my cell phone bill. Lord help me if my cell phone gets shut off. I had that cool pink BlackBerry with the little ball on it. And I just couldn't have that happen. So he said, you got to figure it out. All right, well, here we go. So that was, let's see, October is when I had my surgery. December, I had gained at least 30 pounds. I was super depressed. I get a bill in the mail from this doctor who played God on me for $90,000. What? We got an attorney. First year of marriage was not fun. But guess what? I joined Scentsy on December 16th, and it became my happy place. I would come home and smell stuff. I would come home and I would have friends that would come over and we would play. My then sponsor quit, and then I floated for a couple of years, and Scentsy was still my happy place. I had no idea that there were Facebook groups. I had no idea that there were trips that you could earn. I had no idea that you could earn Sensational Start Awards. I had no idea. So when I started to get my poop in a group and I got my first recruit, I vowed that I was going to make this the best experience for everyone who joined under me from here on out. One recruit became 2, 2 became 10, 10 became 50, 50 became 250, and last September I promoted to star director, and I bawled my eyes out because I've worked so hard for something that for so long I thought was never going to happen. But you know what? God works in mysterious ways, and that surgery was one of them. Well, we ended up having kids. It took us a while, but we did. We have 2 miracle babies, and that $90,000 bill, persistence pays off. I would call and call and call and call, and I would tell them, you know, like, I fought it tooth and nail. I am a redhead. I am a natural redhead, and I am a feisty Norwegian. And guess what? I resigned from my job because we were moving, and it was like the last Thursday or Friday before school got out. And I remember calling, and every Friday I would call. And this last Friday of school, I called, you know, this is Melissa Fisher, and I need to talk to the billing department, blah, blah, blah. Every Friday, like clockwork. And that last Friday before school got out, I call and they say, you know, they connect me to whoever, and your account zeroed out. And I said, what? Thank you, bye. Never called back, never asked another question. I see that as a blessing as well. $90,000 is a lot to just persistence. Your Scentsy business, your life, persistence. You're going to have some crappy days and you're going to have some awesome days. Persist, push through, and be awesome. Smile at a stranger. Go empower your friends. Have coffee with somebody. Just call somebody and say hi. Make their day. Persistence pays off. Even if you keep sending samples to somebody in the mail and they never buy, you never know, they might be giving them away. Persistence pays off. You might just get like a random order, or you might get a party or a recruit. Persistence pays off. So, Angie told me to talk for 5 minutes. I've now talked for 15, so there's that. I love Angie. You guys are so blessed to have an amazing leader such as Angie, and I wish there was like 10,000 of her. She probably wishes there was 10,000 of her at some times too, so don't we all? I love you bunches. My story is not over. My Scentsy story continues to change, but my why is definitely those 2 little babies that doctor told me that I was very slim chance gonna have. So when I decided to quit my job, it wasn't because we were rich and we could financially just, oh, I'm going to quit my job and do this. No, I have to work my business harder than I've ever worked. I'm starting to tear up in my nose. Ugh. But my babies are the reason why. So I hope that you've made it through this 15 minutes of ups and downs and Melissa crying. And I hope that you enjoyed this 15 minutes of ups and downs. And I hope to see you around on Facebook. So I love you bunches. See you later.